Everyone's saying hello to each other. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so today we're going to meet Happy Place Diaries. We have Jerry and Teresa here, and I want them to talk a little bit about their channel. And they're a couple that also does some camping in the winter. And because you guys know that's something that I'm going to start doing this year, I want it to go well. So I'm going to try to pick up some tips and tricks along the way. So I will bring up Happy Place Diaries. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
How are you guys?
Good.
We're good. How are you?
Good? Oh, I'm fantastic. Fantastic. Yep, I'm doing well. I want to thank you guys for coming on the channel. I really appreciate that.
Well, thanks for having us. We really appreciate being a guest.
Awesome. So how long have you guys had your channel?
We have had our channel for well, in December it will be closing on 2 years. We
Okay.
started the channel somewhere around the first part of December of 2018. So yeah, 2 years.
So what gave you the idea of starting a YouTube channel?
Boredom. No,
You just retired.
I retired in November of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And so Teresa's still working at the school district. So I was just looking at something that we could do to document our, our travels and all of that, because all of our kids are grown. And so I thought, well, this would be a fun idea, just to kind of document the campgrounds we go to and the fun things we do and
the experiences we have and what we learn, the good and the bad.
Yeah, rather than writing it down, we have this beautiful, the world of video now, and it's so much better than like the Super 8 back when we were little kids, and I really started tinkering with the editing, and so that's kind of how it started.
Awesome. It looks like you have fun doing this stuff on your channel. I enjoy watching it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So where is the farthest place away you've gone with your travels?
Notre Dame.
Yeah, we 2 summers ago, we pulled from here in Oregon out to Kansas City.
Yeah,
and then we went up into Indiana and the Illinois area, and then we came back through Wisconsin and Minnesota and all that, came north back through.
Came west.
Yeah, well, north and then west all the way home through Wyoming and Montana and then all that
was
back to Oregon.
So
we made a big circle. So that's the
Wow.
farthest up until then, the farthest we went was Disneyland. We pulled the trailer down to Anaheim, and we thought that was a huge deal until we hit Kansas. And then if you've ever driven through Kansas, you know that
there's nothing.
There's a whole lot of nothing in Kansas. So.
Well, then I would feel like I was right at home. I think I'm right in the prairies. So.
Oh yeah, same deal. I thought if ever there was a time not to break down, Kansas would be the place not to break down in. So, but we made it.
And so what are you traveling in?
We have a 2890
RLWS.
It's a Keystone Passport travel trailer.
Okay.
So the total length is 33 feet, and we pull it with a Ford F-150. And
nice.
It just pulls like a dream, and we're out on our adventures at least once a month, every single month. Some months we try to get out every weekend. It doesn't always work, but we try.
So when are you both going to be retired and hit the road? Do you ever think of doing it full time?
Oh yeah.
We always think about doing it full time. Probably about 4 years is when
4 years is when I'll be able to stop working, and then probably a year after that. So
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, I would say, just to get everything in order and make sure we can do it. And
Mhm.
because we've been talking a lot about it.
Yeah. And right now the biggest factor is, the kids are here, and we have our second grandkid on the way in April, and so that makes it really hard to leave. I don't mind leaving, but I need to come back.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, no, I've seen some of your pictures. You got a real cutie patootie. I saw that picture you had today. Was it Facebook or Instagram? I forget where I saw
Both.
it now.
Yeah, I put it
Both,
on
and
both.
both dogs are passed out. The
Yeah,
little
they're
guys
big
all
old.
passed out. I was giggling so much.
So
Yeah.
if I leave quickly, it's because he's waking up from his nap, but he's still asleep right now. So we're good.
All right. That's fantastic. So, winter camping.
Yeah.
How often do you guys do that? Like, how cold does it get where you are?
It gets cold. I think the coldest we've camped was we were up to
Well, we were at Silver Falls, but also at
yeah, and
Amarillo
it was in the teens
yeah.
Fahrenheit. So
Below zero.
yeah, I'm
Right.
trying to do
Below
the
freezing.
No.
well, it is in Canada.
Oh, in Canada. Okay. All right.
So yeah, it would be below 0 Celsius. Regularly, I guess in the wintertime, it hovers right around 0 Celsius, or 32, 33.
Mhm.
In fact, we were just out at the Oregon coast, and it dropped into the 30s
It was 30
at night.
Yeah, 35, I think it was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then so it varies. Usually January is the coldest months that it gets around here. And so but if
Yeah,
you're prepared,
January and February are our coldest, or our very coldest months.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And we
So
don't
I
get
think,
we don't get as much snow, but we get a lot of ice.
like freezing rain and stuff like that. Oh,
Yeah.
I hate that. That is worse than snow.
It
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I agree. I'd rather have snow, but
We have driven on the ice though one time, so that was
yeah.
kind of freaky. But he did a great job and just kept it slow until we hit the snow, and then it's like,
Yeah.
Never thought you'd be so thankful to see snow, right?
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And we were going over the mountains, so that was
Oh, okay. Those are my biggest fears. Freezing rain in mountains. Are you kidding me?
yeah.
Yeah, we live kind of at the base of Mount Hood, and so whenever we go out east, we have to cross the mountain to get there. There's no way around it. You're going to go over the Cascade Mountain Range one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I always try to pick the highway that's going to be the most used so that it's maintained.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
So, but that day it was like we went over and it wasn't bad, but coming home, a huge storm hit, and the crews were out there just working as hard as they could. But we hit the snow and just kind of muscled our way through it. But it was, well, we're here to tell the story, so.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would just be pulled over till things cleared and be very thankful I have accommodations with me everywhere I go.
Well, and see, and that's the beauty of it, right? Because if we did, and we actually even talked about that, if it got so bad, even without being plugged in, we still have our heater, and we still have the blankets, and we have we could make it one night.
Yeah.
So
Little one's awake.
my phone.
Oh.
Sorry.
Aaron keeps putting go Navy, beat Army. Is this some little thing you guys have between each other?
I'm retired from the Army.
Okay, I figured he was making a jab in there somewhere.
Yeah. So, well, touche. I'm going to be nice.
Oh no, you don't have to. By all means.
Yeah.
Oh. So do you have to, like, if you know you're going through the mountains and it's going to be kind of sketchy, is there anything special that you do to prepare for that, the driving part?
Um, it's always good to plan and prepare. So, when we're going across, I'll make sure that that the tires are all good, um, and I'll be absolutely honest with you. If it's hazardous, we're not going.
Hmm.
We'll just go somewhere else. We'll still go out, but we'll go somewhere else. I'm not. I'm too young to put myself in super dangerous positions nowadays. Um,
Hmm.
but we do make sure that
The roads are going to be clear.
roads are clear. We make sure that we top off both of our propane tanks
And
so that they're absolutely topped off in the event that we need to run a heater, the whole time that
Hmm.
we're out. And if electric goes bad or whatever, we always have that heat. We might throw extra blankets in during the winter time. We got caught coming through California once, and it was a super cold night, and I didn't even think about the fact that we've got heat, and we threw like 4 blankets on us, and then the next morning I'm thinking we could have just turned the heater on.
Yeah.
Um,
We're at a truck stop, so
yeah, we were in a truck stop, but um, I just make sure that we're ready to go. I make sure that our sway control is on right and it's you know appropriate, tightened up right, and because that's where you could really lose it. Luckily,
Oh.
with our truck, we've got the electronic sway control, and then we have the redundant sway control on our trailer, and that keeps everything right behind us. We've never had our trailer, get weird on us. Um, and really it's the wind that you got to worry about there. And we've gone across the mountain one time. In fact, that time we were going to Bend, and we got in a windstorm,
yeah.
and I thought we just need to stop because we're going to end up getting thrown off the road. And I just slowed down and took it nice and slow. And then we stopped in that little town and just kind of took a breath and then kept
Hmm.
going. We were fine. But what I've learned, and I guess the older I get, the more I'm inclined to just pull over, get out of the way. We were coming through Wisconsin and went through a storm. You couldn't see beyond the windshield wipers. It was raining so hard,
Yeah.
and we just pulled over and waited about 40 minutes.
You got to know your limits too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got. Oh, go ahead. I'm
If
sorry.
you know you can drive in snow, that's fine, but keep the weather report on. If you've got a buddy with you or somebody else, they can watch.
And we take advantage of technology. So I have a couple apps on my phone that are an absolute must. Um,
Okay.
one of them is called Windy, and it'll tell you what the winds are. Exactly where you are in your location, so you can see if they're
I've never
blowing.
heard of that.
Yeah, it's on all the app stores or whatever. But
Okay.
it's called Windy, and then we have another one called My Radar, and we found that that's the best one for watching the weather radar, and you can
Okay.
see if you're in a hot spot of a storm. And we used those a lot when we were coming through the Midwest 2 summers ago because that's where you really get big storms. And if you could use it for those kind of storms, you could use it for anything. So I use it when we go across the mountain. I'll check the winds. I'll check, if we're going to be driving through a snowstorm or an ice storm, and maybe we'll just hunker down for an hour, maybe leave. And there's been times where we're looking and we said, okay, the storm's going to be here at 4 o'clock. And so we left, a lot earlier than we were planning on so that we
Yes.
could get on the other side of it. And that's really what the most of the preparation comes from, kind of checking and deciding, okay, we need to leave earlier, or maybe let's just wait till tomorrow and leave.
Hmm.
and let the storm blow by, or let whatever the weather is, go by, or make different plans, go somewhere, different
Yeah.
altogether.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes those things do sneak up on us, but yeah, I think for sure for myself too, I would, when I was younger, I used to push things more, but we've had some really bad freezing rain years, and I have a lot of fear that I never used to have. And I'm 45 and I've lived in Saskatchewan, Canada my whole life. I've driven in snow. Most of my work is driving, right? But
Right.
man, oh man, it's freezing rain. I cancel everything. I mean, I
Yeah.
go work in the office. I don't drive anywhere, but I never realized until I had a bigger vehicle like the ambulance how much that wind actually makes a difference.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm like you. As soon as I crossed over into the mid 50s, my reality of that I'm not invincible anymore really took hold, and I just,
It's not worth it.
I don't
Mhm.
want to. I don't want to lose the rig. I don't want to. I don't want to hurt. Us, and it's not worth it. Not when
Yeah,
we have other options.
for sure. I mean, I've seen a lot of people go flying by me in really crappy weather, and then, half an hour later, they're the ones rolled in the ditch, and it's just like, oh, right?
Yep, exactly.
Exactly. The same thing with like blowing tires and stuff. People accuse me of being driving like an old man, but I get to 65 and I'm fine.
Hmm.
The whole idea of RVing is to relax. So
Exactly.
if I need to add an extra hour to get there, I'll add another. In fact, right before we came on tonight, we were sitting down with RV Trip Wizard planning next summer, and I thought, we're going to meet some people, and I thought, well, we're going to meet them on this date. How many days do you want to take to get there? And right now we're at 4, and it could take us 2, but we're going to take 4 days just to get there because I
Yeah.
don't want to push it anymore.
No. When we push everything all the time, we're always in such a rush from point A to point B that we miss everything in between.
Exactly.
Right. I just wish we learned these things younger, but we know it now, so we might as well take advantage of that fact, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, so where do you go camping in the winter time?
Well, luckily, we're fortunate being in the Northwest here. Um, the state parks are open all year long, unless they have roads that are closed.
Right.
So we do a lot of camping in our state parks here in Oregon. We have a
Mhm.
wonderful state park system, and it's mostly all full hookups and all that. So we could take advantage of being able to plug in the wintertime.
You have full hookups available in the winter too?
Yes.
Oh, nice. You don't
Um,
have solar and stuff then, though.
no, we don't have solar at all.
But you have
And
a generator or just propane heater? Oh,
just
so just
propane.
propane for heat for the backup.
And we
Okay.
have an electric heater that we travel with. But yeah, we're very fortunate. Even
We go to the beach.
yeah, we go to the beach a lot. We're only 2 hours from the Oregon coast,
Right.
Hmm.
and so they don't get the snow out there, but they'll get heavy rains, and that's wonderful to camp in. It gets very cold, but it's rainy, and so you have the luxury of the full hookups out there. And then even if we go into the gorge a little bit where there is snow, um, we've stayed at Washington State Parks that had everything but sewer hookups, so that's fine
Oh yeah, we did.
because we could always dump at a Camping World or something like that. But we do have the luxury of having mostly hookups. Um, and I know it's disappointing to a lot of people, but we don't boondock. Um, she likes her hookups. I like my hookups. Okay, it's me. I like the hookup.
The truth is coming out.
Yeah. No, I like taking those nice long hot showers and all that.
You do that to me every time.
I know. I'm sorry. But
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Aaron Jemison says to you guys that we're a short drive from you in Iowa. We'll be at the Amana RV Park and Convention Center again this summer from
Where's
April to October.
The Amana RV Park.
in Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, they're from Iowa.
Yeah, they're in Iowa, a short
'Cause
drive
Iowa's
from you.
not a short drive for us.
Yeah,
Oh,
Iowa's not too. That's probably a good 3 or 4 day drive.
Yeah.
oh, so he's being smart about. See, I don't know all the geography there. You'll have to forgive me.
Okay. I mean, we'll be by Iowa in June,
Yeah.
July, but I don't know. No, we're going to be too far west, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Darn.
Mhm. Adventures in Xanadu, that's exactly like where I live. We only have 2 summer months, July and August.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, luckily we get the seasons. So somewhere around May it starts getting really nice. And then when we get to August, it's hot.
Yeah,
It's really hot. And then we go from hot to rain and cold. It doesn't gradually step down. It just goes from hot to cold.
Just
and then
like
it
that.
stays that way until March.
And then it kind of warms
And then
up
it just starts creeping up again.
But
Yeah. So even though you camp where there's hookups, there are still challenges regardless of that with winter camping.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
The freezing of the water, yes, we've had that.
Yeah, we were camped last. This is actually a funny story, and it's funny because it didn't happen to me. But we were camped up by Mount Adams, which is up in Washington, and it got super cold. It was freezing. Everything froze.
Yeah.
And in fact, my water filter froze, and so I took it off, and I got the pipes, the hose, or everything froze. But luckily, it froze at the at my little angle.
Oh yeah.
That goes into the. I have a little right angle that my line, and so it didn't freeze going into the trailer. It stopped right here, and so I went out and I knocked my hose and I got everything crunched up a little bit, got things warmed up, and we still had water because the night before I put water in our fresh tank, which our trailer is a 4-season trailer, so it's got a insulated underbelly, which isn't really insulated, but so we still had water. While I went outside, and our neighbor had one of those $200 electric heated hoses.
Okay.
And he said, "Do you guys have water?" And I said, "Well, we have water in our fresh tank." And I said, "You shouldn't have any problem." He goes, "You got to plug it in."
So he didn't plug.
So he didn't plug it in. So his entire system froze.
Oh.
So right. So what we do, or what I have done, is I have insulated every exposed pipe. So anything that's PEX, that's near an outer wall or near the floor, I've wrapped, or I've you.
What have you wrapped it with?
The foam. The
pool noodle thing.
Yeah, like the pool noodle things that are for insulating pipes.
Okay.
And then I use Reflectix, and it comes in. You buy it at Home Depot. I thought I had some around here.
Well, that's why I knew I wanted to ask you about winter camping. You have a really good video that everybody should take a look at that shows a lot of the additional stuff that you've done.
Right. So
And
in
so
that video, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So you added insulation to a lot of places, right? Like the Reflectix, you were going to say.
Right. I put the Reflectix up in our cabinets, and it keeps things from freezing, and it also keeps things from melting in the summer. And then under our sink, which is where our outdoor shower and the outdoor faucets, and really that's the only place in the trailer. Well, under both sinks, the one in the galley and the one in the bathroom, I've done those walls with Reflectix. And then I did in our storage compartment, I've covered all of that with Reflectix because our bed is right over that.
Yes.
That's made a huge difference. And then we put little rugs down and stuff on the floor so you're not stepping on a cold floor in the morning.
Yeah, I noticed the extra rugs and stuff. Like I put pieces of carpet into my ambulance for flooring. And I mean, in the summer, it just doesn't make any sense. But man, once it cooled off, I'm
Yep.
really glad I have it in there.
Yeah, because we only have a little bit of carpeting that came in the trailer, and that's like
Yes.
under where the dinette is, and
the couch.
but it's nowhere that you walk.
Yeah.
It's only where you sit, and so we've added a couple throw rugs here and there so that we can move them around if we need them, and that adds to it.
Mm-hmm.
But adding the extra insulation, especially if you're using Reflectix, because it doesn't weigh anything. So you're not adding to the weight of your rig. So that helps. It helps in weight savings.
I don't really and I feel stupid to admit this, but I don't completely understand everything about Reflectix. To me, I thought it was really key in the summer for reflecting back the sun, right? But does it have an R value rating? Like
Yeah, it does.
insulation?
And I don't know what it is, but I know when I was a scout leader, we would take our scouts and camp up on the mountain in the snow,
Mm-hmm.
in tents, and we would buy rolls and rolls of Reflectix, because they've done studies that we would have the kids lay it down on top of their sleeping pads, and it reflects 70% of your body heat back.
Really?
Yes. So it's better than any sleeping pad that you could get. It's
Huh.
not extremely comfortable to lay on, but when you put it
No.
on top of your comfortable pad, now you have comfort and you have heat. And I've noticed, I use Reflectix for, like, we used to use it on our pots and pans, and it would keep cold drinks or hot drinks hot in a cup. And I've noticed a huge difference since we put it in the trailer.
Okay. Oh, I'm brainstorming all kinds of stuff, Jerry. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah, bad.
Because
Everybody
it's
said,
all those little things a person doesn't think of that really adds up and makes the difference.
yeah, Badge. Everybody said he thinks it's a R7. I think you're right in the ballpark. So
Okay.
it does have a good R value to it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it doesn't cost you anything in weight. And I don't know about elsewhere, but at our Home Depot, I could buy a 10-foot roll for $10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when you were showing how you lined it in the backs of your cupboards, I was like, that's brilliant. That's so brilliant. Because how else do you can't get in behind it unless you really want to redo everything in there. But
Exactly.
yeah, I'm almost thinking the one wall in my kitchen, I might do that in my pantry because we hit -40 and it's like I can feel it on the wall.
Yeah, there was times where you could actually, like the cabinet that I show in the video,
Hmm.
is where we keep kind of miscellaneous stuff and our snacks and stuff. And our bar is up there. And there was times where you could actually open the cabinet and feel cold air come out. And you could touch the wall and feel how cold it was. And now we don't get any of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounds like such a great improvement.
Yeah, in fact, I took, in the bedroom of our trailer, it's at the front of the trailer, so it's where the wall makes that kind of it slopes down. And I pulled that whole panel off, and I glued Reflectix in behind that, and then put the panel back on because that's right where your head is. and you could
Yeah.
touch that at night and feel cold.
Yes.
Now you don't.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to find the spots that I'm going to have to add to when I go out. That's why I'm going to go out before it gets too cold for the first times anyways. But Badge asks, do you get moisture when you put it under the sink?
Under the sink?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Do you find moisture an issue in the winter when you're camping?
We have, your fair amount of condensation on the windows.
Mm-hmm.
But what we use, and I've showed that in the video, the buckets of the damp rid.
Oh,
We
yes.
put one under our bed, and that takes care of, because we have all that Reflectix under in the storage compartment. So we put one of those buckets under the bed. We put one kind of at the foot of the bed where the windows are,
and
then we put one in the living space.
right by the big window.
And we really don't have.
We don't get a lot of condensation.
And I keep my vents open, and so you're constantly venting. If it
Okay.
gets really bad, we'll run a fan. Like we ran a fan on our last outing, and it was really, the condensation came because we had cold, plus we had rain, and then we cranked up the heater in, and so we just had a little fan that kept the air moving, and we didn't have any condensation.
Well, that's good to know. That's one of the things I'm worried about. Like, even when it gets a little bit cool, I notice that the front cab windows for me, they're getting wet, right? So, and I wasn't even using heat yet at that point.
Layers under the sink.
I just use one layer and I put it up against the outer wall. Because we don't, there's only one in the bathroom sink. We have that outdoor faucet. And so I've kind of I kind of made it to where it sits over the outdoor faucet on the inside. And then I have the layer of Reflectix that just basically covers that outer wall. And then the same thing in the kitchen. It's just the outer wall, and that's the only thing that I have insulating. If the cold can't come through the wall, then it's not going to get to the pipes. So
Okay, that puts it in terms I can understand, right? If it can't get cold in there, then it's not going to be a problem. Oh man, Aaron Jemison's got a link to 5 insulation tips you should know for RV living. Thank you for that, Aaron. Aaron, I hope that's from your channel. We got a few new people popping in here. We got Roy and Becky's Travels in here now, and New Horizons. Hello, Susan. So good to see you.
Yep.
Adventure Xanadu, Maggie. Oh, lots of really wonderful people. Wonderful. So you have your propane for a backup. Have you ever had to use that? Has it got cold enough that what you have for plugged in, like 120-volt power, isn't enough? Do you ever need to use propane for a backup?
We actually just use the propane. If it's cold, we turn the propane on.
Yeah.
Propane, we've got 2 big tanks, and hi Susan. But we've got 2 big tanks, and we've never run out. So we'll just set the thermostat to, whatever, 66, and then we'll turn our electric heat on and just let it kind of balance itself out.
Have you ever considered putting a diesel heater in there instead of the propane?
No.
No.
I
Probably don't need it
didn't
enough.
even know that was an option.
Oh, well, I have a propane heat in I have that source right now, and I actually just ordered my diesel heater again. I had issues with the first time I ordered, it never came. But diesel heaters are apparently less condensation, and of course wood is the best, but that's a whole different ball of wax. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. I really haven't considered that, because
I didn't know that there was.
it just comes with, the trailer comes with propane, heat, and the furnace will only run on propane, I believe. I guess you would have to get a conversion or something.
All you'd have to do is connect the diesel into your duct system. You just need to run into your other ducts, I think. And I think in the States, some people can get them for like $150. For me, it was $280 in Canada,
Yeah.
but that's the cheap ones. That's not the Webasto or the S-Bar, right? So
Yeah. Well, our stove and oven, that's propane. And so, we run it, because we do a lot of cooking in the trailer, and so, crack a window here and there, that takes care of condensation.
yeah, true. I do like this point that Aaron made though about having 3 different sources of heat for winter camping. Because yeah, if a person's driving and you get stuck in a storm, and oh goodness knows sometimes how things
Right.
can end
So,
up.
yeah, and our third source, so we have the electric, we have the propane, and then we have a what's that called? The Mr. Buddy heater.
Oh, the propane.
Yeah, that propane. Yeah.
And I tell you, I love that thing. It's always down in the store. We ran it a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Just kind of playing with it, but it's always with us. We've actually used it outside more than inside when we're sitting
Oh,
outside.
nice.
You just kind of put that in there, and so yeah, that's our third source. And I agree with Aaron. You should always be ready. And then lots of blankets.
Yeah.
Lots of blankets.
Yes. So we've talked about the heating to deal with, keeping you warm. You've got those buckets. What is that called again for absorbing moisture? Damp rid.
Yeah, they're made by a company called, I think it's Damp Rid.
Do you want me to go get it?
If you want.
Oh, thank you, Morris Family Adventures. That's very thoughtful of you. Thank you.
Tristan's going to go out in the trailer and get it. Luckily, we get to park our trailer next to the house. So
that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's plugged in, keeping the refrigerator cold.
So how much do you vent in there? Like you said, you crack the vent on the roof. Like how much do you open it? Is it just one vent in the roof for the space you have? Like how much would I need to worry about for ventilation?
We keep both of the vents open all the time. We have a vent with a fan in the bathroom, and then we have a vent in the living space. And I have vent covers, so I just leave them open all the way, all the time.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I've only closed them like twice in 4 years.
Okay.
And again, we used to have condensation problems to the point where I was getting really scared, because you watch videos of these guys that were getting like mold, and they were getting,
Yes.
and we've never, knock on wood, we've never had. Yeah, here's the Damp Rid buckets right here.
Those are pretty big buckets. How much is one of those?
We got this at Walmart for $8.
Something like that.
Yeah, for $8.
I'll have to
see. They last like a whole season.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, in fact, we just replaced ours a couple weeks ago, and I mean this has still got all the sand in there. I think there's like kitty litter or something in here. I don't know what's in there, but yeah,
whatever it is, it works.
We
Green
swear
Mom put
by
a
them.
link to it. Thank you for that, Megan, putting that link there. Now I can go back and find it.
Yeah.
So Aaron Jemison has videos on all these things.
Of course
How
he
we
does.
reduce moisture in our RV the easy way. Oh,
we've only been RVers for 4 years, so, but I've winter camped, all over the place. In fact, I was a winter instructor in Alaska, and did all of that for camping, at 20 below under the stars. But I'll tell you, camping in the trailer is a heck of a lot more comfortable.
what do you do when you go out and camp in the winter? What is it that you enjoy about winter camping?
One of the things that I like, and I know what you like, one of the things I like is how quiet and not crowded it is. Because most people think you're absolutely nuts for, going out to a state park. And I mean, we've been to like Tumalo Falls, and there's only been like 2 people in the entire state park. So I just love how quiet it is. There's something about waking up in the morning and hearing that heater kick on, and the coffee pot's ready. And but I know that Teresa likes going on hikes, and because we do a lot of hiking. And
if we know it's going to snow, we can take our snowshoes.
Yep.
Oh.
But also, if we have cable, I can watch football. I'm a big football fan, so
it's just it's good getaways.
Relaxing. It's more relaxing. You can just sit back and do nothing, read a book, watch a movie.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the pressure's off. You don't feel like you have to rush to be entertained. Even though it's great to go out and walk, like down at Silver Falls, where you're walking, you hear the crunch of the snow and all that, knowing that you could go back inside where it's nice and warm. And
the smell of bacon. Yep, the smell of bacon is good.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just getting that. You know what? It's so different when you're just away from home. It's like you're instantly in vacation mode.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, cooking is fun. Like, really? When did that all of a sudden change?
And cleaning the dishes. Yeah, that's how I do it.
Yeah. So our deal is, if I cook, she cleans. If she cooks, I clean. And whenever we're camping, she loves for me to cook. So,
but I hate doing dishes here. At home.
But camping should no problem at all.
Yeah, it's a whole different environment, a whole different vibe that a person's got going on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I can't wait until I can do some ice fishing. Have you guys done some of that in the winter?
The only time I've done ice fishing was in Alaska. Down here, it doesn't
get that cold.
It doesn't get cold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not taking the ambulance on the ice like people do their trucks. I'll just park it on the side and put a little tent out.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, I've camped up on Mount Hood where there's mountain lakes, and it freezes up there. The water will freeze. But I've even been apprehensive about walking out on that because you don't know how frozen it is. So, yeah, but I haven't ice fished since.
I've never been somewhere cold enough where there's lakes that are frozen. So.
Oh, yeah, people drive their trucks on all the time. They pull old campers out on there, and they've done the holes in the floor to fish through. And
yeah.
Oh, I've seen it on TV. I've just never been.
And then drill a hole right next to where you just,
sometimes it's like 5 feet thick. Like, it just depends where you are and how fast the flow of water is underneath is a huge run too. And then, the temperature.
Yeah. Oh, no, I remember I was stationed in Alaska, and we used to have, they used to come out and make ice bridges. And if it wasn't thick enough, they would add water to it to freeze, and they would drive 2.5-ton trucks across. Great big trucks.
The time. Jerry, do you have any other tips for me to think about or consider before I do some winter camping?
Again, it would be like camping. Anytime you want to, hey, here's our treat.
Aw, sweetie.
Being dressed for going back to what we talked about earlier. What happens if something bad happens? You better be prepared. So having the right winter clothing, winter boots, all of that just in case the electricity doesn't work or the heater, you got to have that. But I think a lot of it comes in, what you do before you leave, the extra insulation, and, making sure that your water doesn't freeze. And if that means running your heater in and I don't know how it is with the ambulance, but all of our all of our heater ducts are in the floor of our trailer.
Mhm.
Well, that's where all of our plumbing is too. So when they did it, they put the plumbing right next to the heater duct, so that won't freeze as long as you've got heat. Um, and like I said, to keep the condensation down, don't overheat. You know, you want to make sure that you're not, putting making the difference between the outside temperature and the inside temperature too great, because then you'll have a rainforest
Oh,
in
okay.
your vehicle. So at night we'll turn the heat way down, and then add an extra blanket. Because everybody sleeps better when it's a little chilly anyway.
Yes, I agree.
And then it's just all the regular camping stuff after that. You know, we just, like I said, we make sure that everything's topped off, everything's ready to go. We don't leave anything to chance. No gambling when it comes to the winter.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree. There was another thing that I had seen that you had done with some antifreeze, and you said the pink, not the green. Why the pink, not the green?
Well,
What's the difference?
the pink antifreeze is RV graded antifreeze, and I'm not going to try it, and I definitely won't do it on camera. But apparently, it's um, it's non-toxic, so you could drink it. Um,
Oh.
and people put it in, people that winterize their trailers, which we don't. People that winterize their trailers run it through their lines,
Mm-hmm.
so that they keep their lines full of the antifreeze. And then when it goes, through your system, if anything's left, if there's any residue, it's not going to hurt. So you definitely don't want to put the green antifreeze in, the pink antifreeze. And we use that like yesterday because we got a cold snap tonight. I just put some down my tanks, so that, because I always keep a little water in my tanks, I'll put some down the tanks, and it keeps the P trap from freezing. It'll keep those lines coated, um, and then it'll keep my tanks from turning into slush down there.
So
Uh,
that's for your gray and your black tanks. But what do you do with your fresh water to keep them from freezing?
I empty it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah,
And
I
just
just
fill it
don't
up
have
before
any
you
fresh
go.
water in unless I'm using it. And the nice thing
Okay.
is the fresh water tank is inside the trailer. It's right where the heat is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so,
As long as you're using it, right? So that, you have several days and you have a cold snap and you haven't gone anywhere. Like, so you have to empty the water every time you come
no,
home?
as long as the heat's running, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
It'll heat. And, they do make the tank heaters. It's like a big stick on heater, and you wire it in, and that'll keep your tanks from freezing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Oregon doesn't get that cold. So I have put antifreeze in my fresh tank. Um, when I was keeping a little bit of water in there, but you need to make sure that you flush all of that out before you drink it, because
Okay.
it's not going to taste good. And your
No.
water's going to be pink, and then you'll see it'll just clear out, and then you're good. But I dump in the wintertime after each trip. I dump a little bit down the sinks. I put some in the toilet. I leave a little bit in the toilet, so that it keeps the gasket from freezing,
Okay.
because I don't want that to crack. And then I'll just put it in the shower, in all the sinks. It just keeps, the P traps from freezing, and
Yeah.
all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I've insulated most of that, and it's just extra insurance, because I'm trying to keep the cold on the outside. And so, and then,
It's
if it gets really cold here, we've got it plugged in at home. I'll run our electric heater outside. I'll just run it, put it on the floor, and just let it run, you know,
Do you find that that really increases your power bill though?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to pay for it one way or I'd rather pay a little extra on the electric bill than have to put new pipes in my trailer.
Yeah. And I guess, yeah, the difference for you is that you do winter camp, because anyone that doesn't, they winterize it completely. They can leave it. It's a different story.
Yep.
That's why, that's why I thought it would be really good to ask you that kind of stuff, because you are doing the winter camping. Although I guess that would be another reason to have Aaron back up here again, too. He made a
Exactly.
comment here, same thing, to add it to the water tank and use a pump to circulate it, including the toilet.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and when I have winterized, I mean, there's people that have techniques and they're all over the internet, but I put the antifreeze in the fresh tank and I just ran my pump. Everywhere except for the hot water, you don't want antifreeze in your hot tank, in your hot water tank.
Okay.
But I just ran it through until pink water started coming out of the faucets, and then I was good. And then I think a month later I had to flush it all because we were going camping. So yeah, make a Reflectix blanket for your water jug.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you can just take that and wrap it, put duct tape on the seams and put your water jug right in there, and it's going to help.
For sure.
It's a good insulator.
Yeah, because I never really thought about before. Like, I do need to put something underneath as well. Yeah, and I was even considering some of those heating things. Like, you have a big system, right?
Yeah.
With the switches and everything. But I was thinking of something like how Ray with Van Life Rocks uses for his bed system, just a little heating pad.
Right.
When I'm out. But then I don't know yet how warm it'll keep it. I haven't installed my diesel heater, so I can just make sure that I have a vent going straight to that area as well. And I think that would resolve that problem.
Yeah, I need to learn more about that diesel thing.
Apparently, there's less humidity than propane, and it's less expensive to run, and you can set the temperature.
Yeah.
So
That's neat.
It's something that's an option as well. New Horizons.
Both. I use it to keep the heat in and the cold air out.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely keep a shovel with me, Kathleen. Not a snow shovel, though. I will be putting that one in. That's a good point.
Yeah, I have a snow shovel that I keep in my truck because you just never know.
Okay, we made a slide cover using Reflectix, like when the slide of a trailer comes out, like all around it.
Wow.
Whew.
I
Well, and Badge, being up in Alberta this year because he can't go south, he tarped all the way around as well to retain some additional heat.
Wow. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. This is a good point. Did they make 12-volt fish tank heaters? Yeah. A person could do that, and then
Sure do.
just if it's 12-volt and I have solar, just keep that on.
Yeah, because it was 12-volt. You just put it in the cigarette lighter.
Another tip is to add pipe insulation over the seal on your slides.
Yes, I have seen that in campgrounds.
Well, and Aaron has another video that he put out recently about how, the water can freeze just coming out of the ground from where you're parked at the resort. That's before it even can hit your hose.
Yeah. And,
So,
that's something that we have to be careful with at our at the state parks, because they don't insulate their pipes. And so if the water goes out, the water goes out. You're just out of luck. Every private park I've been to, like the KOAs and things like that, they always have insulation around their pipes, and a lot of them have pipe heaters, the coils. So the private park, but not at the state park. Yeah, we have a lot of BLM land and National Forest land here that offers great free camping. We just, again, you don't get hookups. heat tape.
Yeah, Megan, a lot of people will skirt, but that's if they're staying there for a while. But someone that's moving around a lot, that I don't even know what would you carry with you that wouldn't take up a ton of space. I don't know if there is anything. Like if you're just coming and going, you know, on the road.
I have seen it. We camped once in the snow, and I kind of took snow and piled it up on one side where the wind was blowing. And so it kind of made a snow skirt. Yeah, I was talking with Michael from our Epic RV Adventure, and we were talking about something, and I said something about the heater. It's nice having the heater, and he said, if you need a heater, you need to drive south. Yes, Oregon does have mild winters compared to a lot of the country.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, for us though, yeah, it gets really cold, but that would just be stupid. When it's to the point I don't even know for sure if my vehicle's going to start, my diesel's going to start without being plugged in. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I can run, but our solar is so much less in the winter. I can run a battery, charger from the batteries that are charged off the solar to my cab batteries. But yeah, it just starts to become no fun.
And and that's the key. As soon as it's no longer fun, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
And right now we're having the absolute time of our life. We're enjoying the travel and all of that. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. But we're also not going to try to make it a chore either.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, the ability to boondock is just the freedom of it. So I can go explore more remote places. But I don't know how long that'll be appealing to me either.
Right.
But I'm also set up that I can go to a campground and plug in. So, kind of planning ahead for the variety of options.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've had times where I've gone to a campground and there was nothing available that had no power and I had to pay for an electrified site. Well, that really sucks when you couldn't use it unless you had which I did, an extension cord out the window. Now it's all worked out, but below. So Jerry, I really want to thank you and Teresa so much for coming on today.
Well, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
It's been a while since we did a live stream.
Pardon?
It's been a while since we did a live stream.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, Mars Family Adventures. Thank you again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's another product Kathleen's telling me about for a diesel conditioner. Yep. So much. Have a great night.